Alright, it's time for another episode of Crack-a-Pack. We've got a Journey into Nyx booster pack right here that we're going to open and see what we would first pick out of it. Alright, right off the bat we have a Nixon Fusion. 3 mana for an enchantment Aurora that your enchanted creature gets +2/+2 as long as it's enchantment. Otherwise it gets -2/-2. Not bad. We also have Harvest Guard Alceads. It is a 3 mana creature with a 2/3 with whenever it enters or another enchantment enters the battlefield, prevent all damage that would be dealt to target creature this turn. That can be really good. We also have a Returned Reveler, Zombieseder, for 2 mana, and it's a 1/3, and when it dies you get to put the top 3 cards of his or her library, or everyone puts the top 3 cards of their library into the graveyard. That can be really good. We also have Crewfix Insect. For 3 mana sorcery cards, you get to reveal the top 6 cards of your library and put up to 3 enchantment cards from them into your hand, and then the rest go into the graveyard. This can be really good if you're playing an enchantment-based deck and have a lot of those that you're going to be hitting. Johnny's Presence. 1 mana with a Strive ability of 3 that you get to put +1/+1 for target creatures, and they gain indestructible until end of turn. This is great for triggering Heroic and protecting your creatures from kill spells and whatnot. It's good for that. Nature's Kenapa Lee. 1 mana for a Strive of 3. You get to choose any number of target creatures and put a +1/+1 counter on them. That is pretty good. I would definitely pick a Johnny's Presence over this just because of the added indestructibility bonus. But if you're in green, it's a great way to trigger Heroic. Alright, we have Seder Grove Dancer. He could be grooving. For 2 mana, when it enters the battlefield, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on any target creature, and it's a 1/1 for 2. So really it's a 2/2 for 2, but you can also pump up other creatures if you don't really care about him. So it's a decent bear. Alright, Fonta Fire for 2 mana. To play that out for 2 mana, and then if you tap 4 and sacrifice it, you get to deal 5 damage to target player. Not target creature or target creature, but just the target player. Not the greatest. Blood Crazed Hoplite. I like this card. 2 mana for a 2/1 that has a heroic ability that it gets a +1/+1 counter. But whenever you get to put a +1/+1 counter on it, you also get to take a +1/+1 counter off of a target creature your opponent controls. This looks like it could be so much fun in a heroic based deck where you're just triggering it and just knocking counters off your opponent's stuff if they're on that path. Alright, Oreck Swiftclaw. 2 mana for a 3/1. This is great if you're trying to do a fast beatdown aggro deck. It's really cheap, and it won me a couple of games in the pre-release I played just because I was able to play 2 mana, get in there for a couple beatdowns for the 3, and even though it was just a 3/1, it didn't last long, but it was able to do some damage. Alright, Draca Mystic for 1 mana, and it's a 1/1, and if you tap 1 and tap it, each player reveals the top card of your library. You get to put the reveal card into your opponent's graveyards. If you don't, each player draws a card. So this can help you take care of threats in your opponent's library, see what they're going to be drawing next, and if you can't handle it, you throw it into the graveyard, but they do get to draw another card. But it can be really fun to play with. Alright, Nessian Game Warden. 5 mana for a 4/5, and when it enters the battlefield, you get to look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of forests you control, and then you can reveal a creature card and put that into your hand, and then put the rest in the bottom in any order. So that can be really good. 5 for a 4/5 is not bad. Alright, Thassa's 1 mana for to put out enchantment that you can pay 4 mana to tap or untap a target creature. This is a great mana sink for later in the game. And tapping and untapping and triggering Heroic. This can do that. Alright, and the rare is Hall of Triumph. A 3 mana When it enters the battlefield, choose a color, and creatures you control of the chosen color get +1/+1. And the forest and a card. I think I would either pick this Hall of Triumph, just because it doesn't really matter what you're playing. As long as you have creatures out there, you'll be getting that +1/+1 trigger, and more than likely you'll be staying in 1 or 2 colors, so it can work really, really well, depending on what you pick. Other good ones are, like I said, the Swiftclaw. I also like that one. The Blood Crazed Hoplite is a good one, and maybe even a couple others in here. But comment below what you would pick, first pick, because this is a pretty okay pack. Like this video and subscribe for more.